Starting to the bottom right on a kill-on in our first game today here at the GSTL, we have the AxiomAcer player, the Terran in blue.
Ryung.
He just all-killed StarTale in the last match, took down 4 players in a row. He was unbeatable, and he has a strong record in this matchup as well. Up against the Zerg, to the top left of the map, we have for NSH.
SSanaEE.
SSanaEE so far does not have a single win in Heart of the Swarm against a Terran, online or offline. This is not a good matchup for him. He lost against Sound, he lost against Dream, he lost against Cure in the qualifier for Season 1, and now he's up against a very strong opponent. Ryung has a 67% win ratio against Zerg, and the Zerg players that he took down, they are like curious. He took down Life, both of course part of Team StarTale when he was performing the all-kill. He won against Moonglade with a 3-0. What is that picture? What is that?
It's SSanaEE's face over
I know, but like,
I'm not sure which girl that was actually. I didn't catch that until late.
That was unexpected.
That's one of those things where you're like, that's an interesting SSanaEE fan. Speaking of SSanaEE, he's going to block the CC first, or at least delay it. There it is. Nicely done by Ryung. Fakes him out, makes it look like he's going to try to place it in the natural, then starts it here in the main.
But at least he knows about it, you know? So at this point, he at least knows what's up. He can deal with this.
Goes gas before pool after seeing this.
Yeah. Can edge out a couple of additional harvesters without a problem. And with him going into gas, we could see a bit of a timing here. We could see him with the aggression, because the other option is, of course, going into a third hatch before you start with your own spawning pool.
Yeah. So I like this choice, though. This map is a map where it's tough to... If you don't do damage early on with some sort of aggression, it's hard to stop a Terran player who gets that easy third base and then gets the 3-3 upgrades out and keeps attacking you with drops all over the map. We've seen a lot of players commit on this map to heavy Mutalists, even forcing sometimes Terran players to make Thors. Maybe we'll see something like that if he wants to go to late game, but I would expect he wants to put some aggression on here so that at the very least he feels like he's the one who's controlling the game.
Yeah. It's going to be quite interesting to see what exactly SSanaEE is having in mind here. A lot of times when we expected the NSH players to go for a timing attack, Mad Bull for example, they were just trying to go into the late game against their opponents, having all the confidence in the world that they are able to out-macro the opposing player. But on a map like a kill-on, there are so many timings that you can hit as a Zerg player. I wouldn't put it past SSanaEE to just say, you know what, I'm just going for it.
Yeah, would not be surprised at all. And SSanaEE so far just starts speed, pulls all 3 harvesters out of gas. Doesn't even keep 1 inside, so makes aggression a little bit less likely, but it's still definitely possible.
Scouts on the main base now, and the speed is of course already started, so let's see what SSanaEE has up his sleeves here. He's a player who in the preseason started builds like Swarm Hosts with Niders, that back then that was like unheard of, something that we saw for the first time. This was of course still the beta. But right now, is he playing a more traditional style? Will we see a Roach War? Is he trying to go into the Roach play? Or what kind of build will we have out of SSanaEE? Ryung, of course, one of the most solid players in the league here. He is such a strong player that he will scout. He will try to find out what exactly is going on, what kind of build he's facing, and then adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I expect that he's going to send a scan down fairly soon. He will have Hellions out quickly as well to see if there's a third base, which so far there is not. And still not any gas mine from SSanaEE, so we're definitely not going to see one of those fast timings.
He still could. We have before the 6-minute mark, so he could still do it if he takes the gas fairly soon. He takes the third base now. I would expect to see the extractors within the next 10 to 20 seconds, and then him getting gas again from at least 2 extractors. We have the armory on the other hand for Ryung, and Ryung is going into Hellbats. That much is already certain.
Yeah, Hellbats definitely going to be the next step here for Ryung. We're seeing Hellbats used in almost every matchup very, very frequently. You know, the matchup I suppose you'd say they're used the least is against Protoss.
And there we go, double extractor now being built, starts mining gas again as expected, going into the Roach run here. So he still has the opportunity to hit one of those timings. We don't see a double evolution chamber for him just yet, and he's also not going into the lair tech, but he might do that as soon as he has the 100 gas to pull it off. Third base was scouted. The main question being here, will he saturate it? Is he going to send units over to actually get mining done from over there?
He has 45 drones so far, and he's adding evolution chambers. He's taken only 3 extractors, not 4. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. You know, with the queens that he has, 4 colors now against the drops, the question really is what kind of upgrades is he going to start once those evolution chambers are done. That is going to be really important. And oh, that was a misstep.
Yeah, he definitely should not let those Hellions get in here. This is a problem.
Yeah, this is going to become a huge problem.
And he will kill several of these Harvesters in the main base. And he's also forcing lost mine time from SSanaEE. Oh wow, a huge kill there. Nicely done here by Ryung. And he gets, in total here, with those 3 Hellions, 7 drones.
Yeah. 7 drones in total, and now SSanaEE has to stabilize. He has the resources, he's probably going into the upgrades right now. Let's see what kind of upgrades he's actually researching here.
Roach upgrades,
yeah, he's going for this push. He's going for the push on... I'm actually surprised that he doesn't start. He should start his lair take soon. If you start the lair take fairly soon, you will be able to get your Roach speed out as well. But if you're going to 1-1 upgrades, usually you want to hit a timing, and that's the lair take.
Yeah, gets it. He will have to deal with this Hellbat drop. It's already been spotted. The Queens are ready. Really nice defense here so far from SSanaEE. He has Roaches in position as well. This is not going to do anything.
Yeah. So the idea of SSanaEE is here originally to go into double upgraded Roaches with speed and then hit as soon as he has those out. Hit with a Banelingness as well. He's going for a timing here. Let's see if he can pull it off, because 7 Harvest is lost already. That throws him off balance a little bit. And we have now those Roach drops, sorry, the of course Hellbat drops coming in. And they could do even more damage, and then his whole timing is just going to help.
Exactly. Only 1 Harvester killed here. Not the best control from Ryung on that one. He could have gotten both, and perhaps the Queen if he had microed a little bit better. But he runs away.
Yeah. There come also those additional Roaches right now. He has he should build a few additional Overlords now to make sure that he gets the supply that he needs to just get the units out there. There are 2. That's not going to be enough in the end. He needs a few more. Especially since now the Viking is sniping a bunch of Overlords and making sure that his supply is actually supply blocked at this point.
Yeah. Well, talking about what Ryung is doing back here, he's continuing to build Hellbats. He's clearing up Overlords with Vikings. He's preparing to take that 3rd as he kills the rocks here. And this timing is very, very strong. Ryung is going to have to get an idea of what's going on here. He hasn't seen that big pack of Roaches yet. And once he sees that, that's when he's going to need to put up the bunkers and get ready.
Yep.
If he doesn't see them until they're moving out, then I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this.
You don't necessarily have to do that with the Baneling speed, and with Banelings you can very well do that only with Roaches and the 1-1 upgrades. Jan, for example, really loves to do it, but he's still trying to pull this off. The timing is a little bit off, as you can see, and that's a result of those Harvesters being lost, and the timing is just being a little bit off. 1-1 is already done, where the 2 speed upgrades are not through just yet, but we actually have him going into the first melee upgrade and not hitting the timing right away. He's at the 60 Harvesters that you would expect, and now he needs to rally those units across the map.
Yeah, he definitely needs to start moving out with them, and this is when Ryung is going to get his first sight of the big pack of Roaches. Now he knows exactly what's going on. Needs to react to home. He started Widow Mines earlier. He will have 1-1 as well.
Yeah, but for SSanaEE, this is not going to work out as well as he thought it would, because he has a few more Harvesters than you would usually have with this. He is always supply blocked the entire time, and he kind of needs to abandon the idea of making this happen. He gets 6 Overlords, and that will finally give him the opportunity to use those resources. But to be quite frank with you, that timing is already defeated.
Yeah,
it's already at 12 minutes, and that's just too late.
Yeah, he's definitely missed his window here. Viking clears up another Overlord. Just continuing to be very annoying here. Meanwhile, as he distracts units in the main base, clears up some of the tumors here. Does not pick up very quickly, but trade's okay here against the Banelings.
SSanaEE is in a very awkward position now. He gets the macro hatch and he's transitioning into Mutalisks. So he's going into Mutaling Baneling, but you can really see that the timing that he was aiming for is just gone.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he would have... He definitely planned on doing a timing, otherwise he wouldn't have made all these units like this.
No, it's not even about the units, it's about the upgrades. Getting that first attack upgrade for the Roaches, there's no other point than if you want to hit that upgrade timing. And he has the Roaches on the map. He knows that he cannot just simply run in anymore because there's too much defense for Ryung. But he has them on the map, so he has to do something with them. And he will probably just try to have a quick look at the 3rd base, maybe take down those rocks if possible, just to prepare for the late game. And putting the pressure on Ryung will also cover his transition into the Spire to a certain extent.
Yeah. I really like what Ryung has done here. He's got his units ready here at the 3rd. He also has secondary wall set up behind the rocks with depots. This hatchery will be saved. Nicely done here by SSanaEE, but he's not going to get a whole lot done with these Roaches, especially with the siege tank out now. He's got so many Widow Mines here as well. and the upgrades are going strong still.
The one thing that SSanaEE has thanks to that build now, he has a bit of a disadvantage, of course, because his tech is delayed and he invested a lot more in his army than he wanted to. But he has the map control, and that's the one advantage that he has to run with. Getting that 4th base up, making sure that he secures the rest of his base as well. He's going into +2/+2 now, as well as the Overlord speed that will help him with the Overseers to detect Widow Mines when the Mutalisks fly in. But these are all things that he has to hit now. Spread the creep, get the Spore Crawlers and Spine Crawlers out to be safe against drops, and then try to make this happen. But of course, the idea here was a different one.
Yeah, definitely so. Ryung is really just taking this moment to get all of his upgrades out and to start being aggressive on the map. He has the Widow Mine upgrade already ready, as you saw there. The Widow Mine's growing so quickly. He's trading against the Roaches, and the Roaches are just not valuable at this point anymore in this game.
There's a little bit of core unit control. One Baneling for Marine, that's not what you want to do.
Never.
Buys him a bit more time, but we have the Queen going down at the 3rd base. No injects at those 2 hatches anymore. At least the Medivac is now gone, but it allows his opponent to go once more onto the creep and just get the scans off. Force that creep carpet back, and that's of course what you want as a Terran player. Get the map control back.
Exactly. So many mutas out on the map now for SSanaEE. He banked up that gas. He's going into 18 in total. And as you can see here, the flock is getting pretty big. He needs to find some way to use them, though, because Ryung's army is getting stronger and stronger. He's about to hit 2-2. He's going to have that a little bit faster than SSanaEE.
Ryung wasn't pressured in this game. He could do whatever he wanted, and he's going into additional command centers now. He's even adding a 2nd armory because he wants those upgrades for the Hellbats and the siege tanks. And we have the Roaches and the Banelings moving in right now. The Widow Mines doing their best to actually keep that army at bay. Really decent job here, and you can already see that SSanaEE is quite struggling against this composition.
A very epic victory there for Ryung to just be able to take that army out so handedly. He does have to be careful with his medevacs against this many mutas, but he even has siege tanks in his composition because he knew he was facing this many roaches, and the control on the Widow Mines is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's one of those positions where we could see a Thor coming out later on if he does not solely want to rely on those Widow Mines, but the Widow Mines do a decent job. Another hit going in.
SSanaEE's got to be more careful than that. He's losing several mutas here.
That's too many. Yeah, that's definitely too many. And especially when those 2-2 upgrades, so the 3-3 is now on the way. 2-2 is done. He has the 2nd armory completed, so he could go into double upgrades for his mech units. But this is really Ryung now executing the pressure build that we are used to see from him. And SSanaEE, he is really struggling against this. Mutalisks versus Marine, there's just no way.
And siege tanks versus Banelings and Roaches. Obviously that was a good Baneling hit there, but it's just not enough. And this base is so dead.
The space is dead, and that's not the only thing that's dead in the waters now. It is SSanaEE who's in the last few seconds of this game. He's trying to come through somehow for his team, but this is just not going to happen anymore. Ryung is taking complete control of that spot.
He's in a great position here. You know, he's got his siege tanks at the back. He's got a good fan out of Marines. He has the upgrades. He has so many Widow Mines to support.
He controls the ramp too. All the reinforcements that go down here will get a few shots of those Widow Mines or the siege tanks, and he can drop wherever he wants to. 100 supply, 110 against 186, and 3-3 upgrades, of course, are miles away from SSanaEE, who doesn't even have a high tech.
I feel a big story of this game is SSanaEE committed to a timing that just he did not hit. And maybe the drones affected him, maybe he decided he wanted to transition out of it, but
he takes down the siege tanks now that the Marine numbers are limited, but he will not be able to stop the 2nd wave that is currently going across the map, just highlighted by Legend here. So once those Marines are there, the Mutalisks won't do anything. They're struggling as it is against the Widow Mines.
Yeah, and now he controls the natural ramp, and that's basically checkmate. He's just got too much bio here. The Banelings are morphing desperately. There are siege tanks in tank mode firing at them. This is going to be the end of this game. Banelings hitting the morphing or rather the Widow Mines hitting the morphing Banelings.
This is the last stand of SSanaEE rolling in with those Banelings trying to pull it off, but the next wave of Marines is already on their way. 100 supply lead for the Terran player, and SSanaEE, he's out of luck here. 3 Mutalisks are not going to win him this battle, and the Zerglings that he's currently building, they will be too late to save this base. +3/+3 is soon going to hit, and now even the spawning pool is about to be sniped.
Yeah, and with no spawning pool, you can't hope to make really anything. That's it. GG.
GG.